Okay. So yesterday, we started to work through the process of analysis and close reading, things like that. And we're going to get back to that, but we're going to backtrack a little bit, build some more background information, and then move forward. So for starters, what is your favorite TV show?
Family Guy.
One Tree Hill, and what was in the back corner?
Family Guy.
Family Guy?
Alright.
Pokemon?
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, that's obviously one of my favorites. And why do you like these TV shows?
It's entertaining.
Entertaining, funny. What's that? Most of them are kind of pointless. Okay. So, one thing that I never realized until I got further on into my college education is that people actually take TV shows like this and expand upon the universes. They analyze them, and have you guys ever heard of things like fan fiction? Yeah, things like that. Yeah, basically, they analyze the story. They're like, here's what these stories or what these characters are doing. We're gonna make this character do this instead and see what happens. And what they have to do is they have to do a close reading, which we were doing yesterday. They have to figure out all the different aspects of all the characters. And with close reading that we were doing yesterday, did you guys find that easy, hard, semi-medium, kind of easy, sort of hard? I'm getting on one of these. Yeah, go ahead and stop me whenever. Yeah, right in the middle. Have you guys had a lot of practice with it before? Kind of. Okay, so that's kind of what one of our goals is going to be today, is to keep practicing that and building that background information so you can progress forward. And we're going to do 3 different things today. We're going to start with discussing and listing steps of analyzing a piece of writing. We're going to discover and identify these steps in a SpongeBob fan theory, which is why I had the SpongeBob characters. There you go. And then we're going to continue with our analysis of the Bottom of the River song. Okay? So, do any of you know the SpongeBob fan theory, where they say that each of the characters represents a 7 deadly sin? Yeah. Okay, so which one does Mr. Krabs represent?
3.
3? That's a pretty resounding answer. What about SpongeBob?
Pride.
It's not pride, because Sandy is pride.
It's
Lust.
He's lust.
Yeah.
Okay.
How does he love?
Yeah, would you like to explain how he's lust?
He loves like everything.
Yeah, that's one definition of the term lust, is seeking love and attention from everybody, which is the essence of SpongeBob's character. What about Patrick?
Gluttony.
No, sloth.
Sloth.
Sloth? Why is it sloth instead of gluttony?
Because he's lazy.
Lazy? Oh. Alright.
And he lives in the rock.
Okay, and then Sandy?
Pride.
Pride? Why is she pride?
She's usually
Texas.
Karate.
Karate, Texas. Like that episode where SpongeBob and Patrick make fun of Texas and
Yeah.
she chases them down.
Yeah.
And what about London? Greed, gluttony, wrath.
And anger.
Envy.
Okay.
No, because
So,
Squidward's envy because he envies SpongeBob's happiness.
does
No.
he or...
Plankton is envy because he
Okay,
envies.
let's bring it back in. Okay.
Okay.
So, how about one person raises their hand and tells me why Plankton is either wrath or envy? Back corner.
He's envy because he wants to know the secret formula because
Okay.
he wants customers in the chum bucket instead of the Krusty Krab.
Okay, and then would envy lead to wrath? Is that why he could be both? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna put envy for Plankton, since that seems to be the driving force behind his wrath. Now, what about Squidward?
Anger.
Anger, wrath. Now, what about Gary? Gluttony. Is there? Yeah. There's a running joke in SpongeBob that SpongeBob always has to go back and feed Gary. When he leaves him alone, he eats like half the couch. And there's one episode where he runs away because SpongeBob didn't feed him.
Yeah.
So Okay?
Crazy.
Now, do you guys agree with this theory or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? Why?
It makes sense.
Makes sense? How does it make sense?
We just described all their personalities.
Wait, what about Larry the Lobster?
Larry the Lobster?
The Pearl?
I'm sure that you
He's
could.
not one of the main characters.
Exactly. But I'm sure you can make connections to that.
Miss Puff. Miss Puff.
She's
Mr.
not in
Krabs'
every
daughter,
episode.
Big
Pearl.
Pearl. Okay. So anyway, let's focus back. Bring the focus back around. So you could obviously draw parallels, but they picked these 7 because they're the main characters that you see the most often, and they have the most distinct characteristics. And now, when we describe the character traits, like you were saying, when you are making your claim, which is the characters represent 7 deadly sins, it's important to go in depth. Because when you're doing like the scientific method in science class, you have to clearly lay out all of your evidence, right? Yes, maybe, no.
Yes.
There we go. And the same thing goes in reading and writing. If you can't prove your point, nobody's going to listen to you. Because how many times have you guys heard the argument, do this, why? Because I said so.
That's a good one.
Why is it annoying?
You said it during religion, Emma.
I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Anyway, so why is that kind of argument, why does that make you annoyed or make you not want to listen?
They have no reason.
You have no reason. So, same thing goes with this, okay? Now, since we have already discussed all that, I didn't expect that to go as quickly as it did. You guys were super on top of the ball.
I'll brag, you.
Yeah. But anyway, so with that, can we list the steps of the analysis process from what we just did? How about, I'm gonna take these down, and we're gonna list them out on the board, okay? Can everybody see the board okay? I know that the screen's kind of in the way, and so am I, but I'm doing my best. So what's the first step that we're obviously gonna do?
Purpose.
Ask a
Purpose.
question.
Ask a question. What are we gonna do before we do all of that?
State what we're trying to figure out.
The very, very, very first thing that we're gonna do.
List out your materials or something like that?
What?
List out your materials.
List out the material. But what do we do with that material?
Read it.
Yeah, you have to read it.
Research.
That'll come later.
Oh.
But first, number 1 step is you need to read the material. If you don't read the material, how are you gonna know what you're talking about? How are you gonna know what claim you're gonna make? Okay? So now what's next? Once you read it, what are you gonna start doing?
Summarize.
Summarize, analyze,
Record
Yeah.
record. What do you do when you record?
Right.
some stuff down.
You're writing. Are you asking any questions at all? Like what happened here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Way more.
So next step is you're going to ask questions. Now what's next? After you read it, research, because you're going to answer your questions. Okay? So research.
How many steps are there?
It's only 4.
Conclusion.
Read, ask, research,
And ask questions.
Conclude.
evaluate.
Evaluate whether or not your plan is right.
Yeah.
Evaluate, analyze. Okay. Evaluate. Okay. So that's honestly a very simple, broken down version of the analysis process, which is what we do with the SpongeBob theory. And you guys whipped through that like it was nothing. So the process isn't necessarily hard. It just takes time with the close reading aspect, when you have to look at the text and pull things out. And with that being said, I actually have a worksheet for you guys today that's going to help with the analysis process of Bottom of the River. Okay? What did you guys think of the song, by the way?
Good.
Good? Did reading it and listening to it and seeing the video help you understand what was going on?
Yes.
I'm when you read the poem, how many of you made a connection to a witch tribe?
No.
I saw one hand maybe.
I raised your hand.
Well, like, let's watch the video. It kinda like,
Put on up
oh, never mind.
No, it's fine. And did I miss anyone? Got it. Do we have any extras? Any extras? Yes, no? Cool. So, how did watching the video help you guys understand what was going on? Anyone? Yeah, it gave you a mental picture. And did having the words in front of you help as well? So you could watch it and see it at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So tell you what we're going to do now is we're going to watch the video one more time so it's fresh in our heads, and then we're going to go through this, okay? Now some things to look for when we're doing this. I've obviously watched this once or twice or like 20 times in preparation for my lesson. So I've started to pick up on some things. Some little minute details. And what I want you guys to look for in the mirror at the very beginning of the video. Pay attention to the reflection of the woman and see what happens when she gets drug out of the house. And also, when do the dancers appear in the actual poem? Does anyone need the lyrics, by the way, or do you guys still have those? Need the lyrics?
Oh,
Do you need them?
Yeah, mine on the line.
Yeah, that's cool. Anyone? Does anyone else need the lyrics? Anyone? Speak down for everyone your peace.
They might have to do the screen as the cords are being stretched, you know.
Yeah. Here.
Like not the mop more than once.
There we go. Okay, so pay attention to when the dancers come in and what color their masks are and what that might represent. And also when her hands get free. Because her hands are bound the entire time, and then at a certain point in the video, they're just kind of gone. And what happens when the dancers get behind them, and things like that. Yeah, we'll talk more about it the more that we analyze it, so I don't want to bombard you with information. But those are some of the little things to look for. Okay? Let's get this going. Get the volumes up. Volume here. Yeah, we ready? Also, don't be afraid to make notes on your poetry so you don't forget your ideas.
Hold my head, oh baby, it's a long way down to the bottom of the river. Hold my head, oh baby, it's a long way down, a long way down. If you get sleep or if you get night, God's gonna call in the morning, baby. Check the cupboard for your daddy's gun. Red sun rises like an early morning. The Lord's gonna come for your firstborn son. Hands on fire and his heart's burning. So go to the river where the water runs. Wash him deep where the tides are turning. And if you fall, and if you fall, hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down to the bottom. Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down, a long way down. Chasing the hell night, drunk and driven by
what are some things that you noticed on that run through? Did anyone see what happened in the mirror?
Her face didn't move.
Face didn't move?
What stays?
Yeah.
Hey, where's the mirror?
What?
She's the mirror in the house that she's sitting in front of, she's combing her hair.
Yeah.
When they drag her out, her face is still there.
She like turns around where she goes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did anyone notice what happened when the dancers came in? We're gonna watch this one more time. I don't want to bombard you with it. But there's this one particular point in the video where that first bass drop and the bass drum hits and the camera kind of shakes. Because when you watch her, at the very beginning she's getting drugged along, right? She looks a little scared, that first bass drop hits, camera shakes, all of a sudden everyone falls in line behind her. So what do you think that might mean?
Spell.
Spell.
Yeah. So now, what's up?
Did she put that in her phone or she put her?
Well, she's the witch, so what do you think?
When which one like this, like everyone died.
Yeah. Notice what happens with the environment around her, like her setting, as she gets more confident and the song builds to a climax, and the dancers start dancing. And did anyone notice the color of the masks on the dancers?
Red, white, and blue.
Yeah. And what color are devils usually associated with?
Red.
Red. Okay. And then at the very end of the video, there's one more thing. There are two farmhands that are out front, and when they come around and the dancers are standing there, their eyes are black. And watch for them at the end of the video and see what happens. Okay? So one more time, and then we'll be done watching. It's cool?
Cool.
All right. Get that cursor out of the way.
Ooh.
He's still there as well.
Hold my head, ooh baby, it's a long way down to the bottom of the river. Hold my head, ooh baby, it's a long way down, a long way down. If you
And
get
right there.
or if you get done, Doc's gonna call in the morning, baby. And check the cupboard for your daddy's gun. Red sun rises like an early morning. The Lord's gonna come for your firstborn son. His hands on fire and his heart is burning. So go to the river where the water runs. Wash him deep where the tides are turning. And if you fall,
Farmers with the black eyes.
if you fall, hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down to the bottom. Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down, a long way down. Chasing the velvet light, drunk and driven by a terrible hunger. Drive your son like a railroad spike into the water, let it pull him under. The more you live, the better come alive. The Lord speaks like a rolling thunder. Let that fever make the water rise. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down to the bottom. Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down, a long way down. Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way, a long, long, long way. Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down, a long way down.
Also notice that the dancers are gone. And it's just two farmhands at the end. Alright. So, what are some things that you took away from that? From those two viewings? Any new information? Maybe, possibly?
Yeah, when the dancers started doing that clapping
it's, I don't know.
Obviously.
But she like builds herself up and like,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anything else? What did you guys notice about the wind?
Stop at the end.
Stopped at the end, and when they ran forward, when she was actually in control, the wind picked up even more. That's something that I noticed that I didn't actually notice beforehand. Okay, so now that we've looked at this and we kind of pulled it apart, let's go to our worksheets. Okay. So what I would like you guys to do is to get into partners and fill out the summary of the video. What's the story that it tells? What happens? Where does it happen? Why do you think it happens? Okay? And then after that, we'll come back together after you guys fill out the summary, okay? Give you 3 minutes. Does that give you enough time? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Barbara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it's very, it's all very like self-explanatory. And yeah, but just kind of short, but it's.
Is she mine over there?
Let's just put up here.
Yeah, so.
Why don't you just take this one out?
Coach Brooke, where?
Yeah, it's very.
Huh?
They all die, they all just
Did you do those questions?
and then all the follower answers.
This is why they're in
So are they?
Is about another minute gonna be enough time, or do you guys need some more?
Can we have a little more time?
Yeah, I'll give you till 1:40. How's that sound?
Would you get him? Right there. On what?
They write them by the time she's free.
By the time she's free.
But I don't see how she can get away to talk about that.
Do you awake?
Cool.
Do you awake time? Is that what you're talking about?
Talk about
Yeah, she's like,
Should we have like, I haven't been there.
she's like a good word speaks like a road.
We're sitting on that over here. So I think the dancers probably represent
What do you think
personality.
of? What? Okay, write it down. Don't just say it, write it down.
What would we put the titles like often in Patreon?
That, yeah, on the river, Delta Ray. No, we don't need to worry about that. I'm kind of modifying the worksheet that I had, my personal. Are you almost done with the summaries? Alright, so how are the summaries coming along? Good? Almost done with those? Okay. So what part of the process are we working on right now? When we watched the video, what part of that 4-step process was it? The read. Yeah. Here, let me move this screen out of the way. So there's the read, and then what we just did was the asking questions and asking what happened. And now the research part of it. In this other section right here, that says literary devices used. What kind of things are those? Similes, alliteration, metaphor, rhyme, other things like that. Okay, imagery, that's important in this. So look at the poem, remember about the video, and write some of those things down. And then in the box next to it, how were the literary devices used? That's also going to be part of your research. That's making your claim that you made in the story of what you think happened and why. So I'll put you on the clock again for like 5 minutes.
What part is this? A little bit more?
Yeah, the bottom 2 boxes. That's going to be your research. What you're doing to support your claim of what happened and why it happened. Yeah, absolutely. It is important to note that repetition is a literary device as well. With the a long, long, long way, it's emphasizing how far down it is in body shorts. Okay?
For the user fee, like saying. Like, repetition is used to emphasize how long.
Oh, yeah, first half was long.
Repetition is used.
Also, it is important to note that the reason I want you to write down your thoughts is 1, it helps get them out of your brain onto a piece of paper. So you can't stop yourself midway through your thoughts saying, I think that, you know what, I don't know, never mind. It's one of the most frustrating things as a teacher to hear when you're on the right track and you just stop in thought. And you say, I don't know what's going on. And also, what I'd like is an analysis, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. You don't have to worry about protein, but what? These literary devices, like, do you have a copy of the poem? That's going to be our first step. So literary devices. Things like similes, metaphors, imagery. Remember how we talked to that's imagery that shows how intense this spell is. When she says,
I put it, it looks like she's right next to
what you do, but the same what is that to show how that happened? That it's saying how can you tell. And then did you get that too?
Because they
What I was talking with him about?
to like,
No? Do you have a copy of it all?
for
So
some
how's the first step? Take that one out.
shows us like how we're supposed to see it. So, cause like it says like the red stuff rises and the white goes frames.
You guys have 4 minutes,
Basically,
okay?
it tells you how you should see it.
So, for the version classes, it's things like similes, metaphors, similes. What is it about? Let's compare some of the characters. So I said,
No one even attacks.
Right? I don't know where this is, but I know what there you
And the
go.
wizard tells
That's not really how.
I was just like, setting me on, but you're right. Canon is kind of
you're saying that that's so is and things like imagery, which you might learn right there, is running through the sky of this hundred, or chasing blinding light, those things are pretty intense images, right? Like, what do you think when you
Cause it was like, but we can never know the picture.
big things and stuff. So it's things like that that you're looking for. And it's not super in depth, but just ask yourself what do you think.
But when I was confused, just struggle with
So basically, you're doing this. Use that to say how you know the story happened. That's usually which one has that.
I don't know. I'll look at
Can I get a panoramic view? Yeah.
a couple of the jewels.
What's up? Yeah, I'm gonna make a. Alright, so I'm gonna bring everybody back up front real quick.
Next thing you know, it's just like,
Okay. So back up front.
people do it.
Can we get our desks put back to where they were before? Because we are almost out of time. We have 5 minutes left. Now, what I would like you guys.
No, I'm worried about my brow.
Worry about your brain.
Yeah, yeah.
You said it was your brain.
Yes. I'm right. I'm not right now. I thought you were putting your face right after the camera.
Alright, can everyone take a seat, please?
Huh?
Okay. Are we good? Alright, so real quick, part of why I had you guys do this is to gain some more practice with some analysis. But then on top of that, if you could for next week, what I'd like is like a paragraph or two analyzing what happened in the play. So taking what we wrote on this worksheet and putting it into paragraph form, saying what happened in the story and how those things that you pulled out show what happened in the story. So she's a witch and she killed the people. How do you know that? How do you know she put a spell on them? Things like that. And it won't be due till next Wednesday when I come back, and it's to see how effective the teaching was on my end and what I can do better. So if you want to provide some feedback too, I'm more than willing to accept any feedback. And to close the lesson, do you guys have any questions about what I want for next week?
What do you want to do? Write a paragraph explaining the thing,
Yeah, write a paragraph explaining the song and poem.
like how we know that she.
Yeah, like in your summary, when you say what happened in the poem, that she's a witch and she killed these people, say why you know that. Okay, and that's your final thing, your evaluate your claim.
Next Wednesday, 1 week from today.
Next Wednesday, 1 week from today. Okay? Now,
This is
real quick, before you guys leave, someone raise your hand, one thing that you learned today. Don't know what, there we go. A new song?
Those people have red masks on.
People have red masks on, so new detail in the song. Anyone else? Is that all that you guys learned today?
The song kind of makes sense now.
Song makes sense now? What else? What's up?
Any favorite show, SpongeBob?
My favorite show is SpongeBob. Yeah, I can quote quite a few lines. So
Sandy is.
Sandy's Pride. Yeah. And then what did you guys think of the activities? Good, bad, okay? Got it? Fun? Good? I mean, I know you don't like those ones, so I'll give you an okay out of yours. Any other questions? I think you guys are out.
Finish that worksheet for Bob.
Actually, I have another question for you guys. Hey, real quick, back up here. I have another quick question. Does seeing it and hearing it and having the lyrics in front of you all help?
Yes.
So what are some things you can do in other classes when you have to do research?
See, read,
Are we gonna listen to something in a math class? Say that you are doing a presentation on gravity. And you don't wanna listen to your teacher drone on and on. What are you gonna do? Make a song, that's what I'm saying. YouTube? YouTube's a great place to go. I actually saw this really good video about someone who did a presentation on gravity with some stretchy like rubber stuff. And then they would put a ball in the center and show how orbit and things work like that. So there are a bunch of different resources that you can take the ideas from this class and apply to other classes. And honestly, this is kind of a simplified version of the scientific method, but it's the same basic process. You're still analyzing a claim and defending it. So just keep that in mind when you go to your other classes. And the close reading aspect in science classrooms, if you don't look at your research, your claim's going to get torn apart. And I know that from experience. That's how I learned to actually read my stuff in my physics C class. But, yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And cut.
And cut.
Oh, yeah.
Someone want to hit
Good
the...
job today, Miss Rhodes.
Pardon?